for today's role of BA in BAU and the support. So BAU stands for business as usual, so which is effectively part of support only. So we are running the series. This is the last session of the series. We started with the data migration projects, integration projects, development, product development projects, implementation projects, and now we are discussing about support projects. So if you have missed any of the sessions, feel free to go to the Twitter space and see the recordings. Last four recordings will still be available. You might have missed prior recordings, so. Uh, yeah, let me know if you are interested in any of the session recordings, and I'll see if I can get you one. Uh, okay. So please do join me on stage so that we can make the session more interactive. I don't want the session to be one-sided conversation. So please send me a request to speak or uh, accept my invite. Yeah. Okay. So let me start with support, right? So we said there is a product. Product team is developing a product. They are launching a product in the market and anyone can use it. Then there is an implementation team which will implement this product for client. So my client may want a certain, type of data. My client may want certain type of configurations. The client may want certain new features. So all those things will be taken into consideration, and a product will be implemented for a particular client, and configurations, permissions, and other things will be set up for the client. So that will fall into implementation project. Once an implementation is done, so once we have delivered the product to the client, then the BAU part or the support part kicks in. At this stage, what effectively we are doing is we are supporting the client for their day-to-day activities. So I can have 10 users, I can have 100 users, I can have 1,000 users. So when the users are using the system, they'll face certain issues. It could, it is possible that it's not an issue. It could be a user training issue as well. So they will raise issues on day-to-day basis, right? So when they face these issues, what will they do? They will call help desk. So if we face any issue, we call customer care, right? So you can say customer care of Amazon, what's the number? Customer care of Vodafone, what's the number? So similarly, you contact the help desk, and what help desk will do is effectively they'll create a ticket for you. So whenever we face any challenge, so let's say I faced a challenge with Amazon, I give a call to Amazon customer care, and they'll give me a ticket number back. Yeah. So this ticket is via which we will be tracking the issue till closure. So till my issue is closed, the tracking will be done on this ticket. So every support project will have a ticketing system. It could be anything. It could be Jira, it could be TFS, or it could be some other we do have a MTM or I can't remember it now. I used it in the past. So we do have special systems for logging the tickets only. And these systems will have their workflows as well. So the tickets will be logged in the system, and then help desk will look into these tickets and try to ascertain what the issue is. So the issue could be I'm not able to access the system, and then on further investigation the help desk may make him to know is the user does not have permissions, so they'll go into the admin area and they'll set the permissions for the user. The issue could be something else, right? So issue could be user wants to know how to do a particular step. Then the help desk has these user guides, and they have these materials ready with them. They can go through those steps. They can search for the requested with a keyword. They'll search in those guides, and then whatever information is coming up, they'll tell to the customer, right? So if let's say my internet is not working and I give a call to my service provider, then what they'll sometimes tell you, okay, have you there is a checklist, right? So have you restarted your modem? Have you tried disconnecting from the plug? If it is still not working, try to do this, try to do that. So they'll give you certain steps. So these steps are written in their guides, and they're just reading it out from them. And and over a period of time they'll learn them by heart. So the help desk will be the first level which will look into these support tickets. And then, if it is an issue which the help desk cannot resolve, then comes the BA. So then they will say, they will assign the ticket to a relevant, business analyst, and they'll ask the person to do further investigation on it. So the support BAs will mainly work on tickets. Yeah, and now we will go into what all different kind of tickets can be, and how, what a BA does in those different types of tickets. But any questions so far?
Not from me.
Yeah, thanks, Amit. Thanks for confirming. Yeah, I think we are good till here. Yeah. So now the first type of ticket that a BA might get is a um, defect. Yeah. So user will say, I'm doing these steps and it is giving me an error. So what the BA will then do is, BA will then try to replicate that defect. So the analysis of the ticket. So the first step that BA needs to do is analyze the ticket, right? It's business analyst. So business analyst, what business analyst does is business analysis. So they'll do the analysis of the ticket that they have received. And let's say the ticket talks about some weird behavior of the system, some unexpected behavior of the system, some error popping up, system crashing on following certain steps, system not connecting, and things like that, right? So there is an issue. Uh, the issue is faced on following a particular set of steps. Then it's a bug in the system which needs to be fixed. So ideally, all the bugs will be fixed, before go live, before implementation project ends. But it is still possible that there are certain scenarios, business scenarios, which were not covered in the testing, or which could be a known bug as well. So there can be different bugs in the system, different issues in the system. So once the BA analyzed it, and once they ascertain it's a bug, then they'll create a bug in maybe same system or some other system. They'll assign it to the dev team, and dev team will fix that bug in the next whatever release is planned. Sometimes there are planned releases, so we'll do a release every month and we'll fix all the bugs in that release. Or sometimes it's an ad hoc release, so you have received a bug, so we will be doing the release tomorrow to fix it. Yeah, so depending on project to project how it will work. So they will fix the dev team will fix the bug, and the fix will be deployed. In the meanwhile, user is informed that yes, your issue is a valid issue, and it's a problem in our system which will be fixed with so and so date. And after the bug is fixed, BA will test it out in a support environment or product environment, wherever it is possible, and then they'll inform the user that the bug has been resolved. Can you please check your issue, the entity, the record you were working on, can you please check it and confirm that the ticket is good to be closed? Yeah, so the ticket will be closed in that manner. So the first thing that we can identify after analysis of ticket is a bug or a defect in the system. Yeah. Any questions so far?
Shipra, just a quick one. So,
Mhm.
a BA will be doing the testing, the proper testing for the defect, or he or she will only be doing the functional, just to confirm that the fix is working and it is good to be released.
Yeah, so it's a functional testing, right? So we are not talking about change request here. It's a bug. You follow certain steps and you encounter a particular issue. That's the definition of bug, right? So the BA will follow the same steps and see if the issue is coming again or not. So
Okay.
when we talk about functional testing, we usually talk about functional testing in terms of new enhancements, user stories, and things like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's a bug testing that the BA will do. So BA will try to replicate the same steps in support environment. So someone needs to test it out, right? It is
Right.
possible that there is a testing team, assigned to support team. So those people will be doing the testing. It is also possible that there is no testing team, right? Because there is no certainty of a regular work, right? That will come. So implementation, when you're doing product development, you are doing, there is a certainty that regularly there will be sprints and there will be dev things coming up which needs to be tested. But support is a bit different, right? There is no certainty of items coming in regularly for a testing. So if there are thousands of users and it is very frequently the new things are coming up, then it is possible that there is a testing team. But it is also possible that there is no testing team as such. Yeah, so if it's a small project, then the BA will be asked to do the testing for the bug. Yeah, and the BA will just replicate the same steps and see if the issue is present or not. Yeah, and that's it.
Sure, sure. Thanks, Shipra.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yes, clear.
Yeah. So thanks for raising this question. I see that others have also joined us. So please raise a request so that I can approve, and please do participate in the discussion. It will make the session more interactive. Yeah. Okay. Now, second thing, what can happen? So you a BA got the ticket, and the BA does the analysis on the ticket, and there is no issue. So the user is facing an issue, but actually there is no issue. Yeah. So it is possible that it is a user training issue. So what that means is that some changes have been made in the system, but users are not accustomed to those changes. User does not know how to use the system. User is not able to navigate to the proper area, or user is not following the correct steps and things like that, right? So the BA will, after analysis, will inform the user that these are the steps you need to follow. You need to navigate to this area, that area, and once they do that, sometimes user is still not understanding. Then the BA will need to give a call to the user or set up a meeting with the user, and say that this is how you do. Yeah. So once the user is happy that yes, his problem is solved, the ticket will be closed. So that's a your analysis could end up into a user training issue as well. Sometimes what happens is you identify that there is a bug in the system which needs to be fixed. But let's say my release is planned for 10 days later. So we cannot say to the user wait for 10 days or something like that, right? So sometimes what you have to do is you have to provide a workaround to the user. When I say workaround, what that means is some other way of continuing with your work. Yeah. So you are, the usual process is is a series of steps, but there is a bug in that series of steps because of which you cannot proceed. So you inform the user, okay, if you do this, you will be able to continue with your work. So user training or a workaround provision can go hand in hand. So sometimes you identify there is a bug in the system, but you think it's not worth fixing that bug because it's a rare scenario and one off scenario, and there is an easy workaround present as well. So in that case also, you just inform the user that there is an easy workaround available, and if you do this, you will be able to proceed. So yeah, it could be just a matter of giving a call or sharing the steps, and the user will be happy. If you are getting such requests very frequently, so many users are facing similar types of problems, then as a support PA, what you need to do is you need to create a guide for it, right? So if user is complaining about so and so thing, inform the user that they need to do so and so steps. Yeah, and just put it in a document and share it with your help desk team. So what that will do is your the tickets coming to the BA will reduce drastically, right? So every day if I am responding same thing to three people, four people, right? If I just give it to the help desk team will curb it out, right? So you will stop getting these three four tickets, and you can focus on the new items. Yeah. So keep if you prepare guides, it will help you in long run. Yeah, that's my messages. So especially for user training issues, the guides come in very handy. So uh, I used to get very frequent queries on how this form will be attached, how that form will be attached. So what I did was I created a repository of all the forms and in which circumstances they will attach. So I shared this with help desk, and half of my tickets went down immediately. So if you follow certain good practices, it will help you in the long run. Any questions so far in workaround or user training issues?
Nothing from me, Shipra.
And George, are you saying something?
I said nothing from me, Shipra.
Yeah, thanks, George. Anyone else has any questions?
No.
Okay. Okay. So the third, you know, now again the third thing. So BA got a ticket, BA analyzed the ticket, and what this ticket says is the user is saying that I was supposed to do something, but I did something else, and now I'm on a point of no return. So, for example, uh, I have placed an order, but I was supposed to place an order for one item, but I have placed the order for two items. Yeah. Or I have created a record if I talk about insurance domain. So I have created a policy and the policies has already been finalized. But this policy was supposed to be of for 10 million, but by mistake, by user entry mistake, I have made it 1 million only, right? But because the policy has been finalized, there is no workflow in the system to bring the policy back, and I do not want to perform certain new transaction because it will be confusing for the user. It is my mistake. Yeah, so the user is has done some mistake, especially in terms of data entry. Yeah, so the value was supposed to be something else, but they have now entered something else. Value was supposed to be 100, but they entered 10 only, or value was supposed to be 10, but by mistake they entered 100. So in that case, they will again go to help desk. What should I do now? Now here it is not a user training issue. It's, of course, they are not supposed to enter the values wrong, but now the value has already been entered and it's a point of no return, right? Nothing can be done from user perspective because system does not have those capabilities built in to change the data after a certain step, right? So in that case, it's a data fix request. So what BA will do is BA will uh, you know usually BA is supposed to create a document, but it could be done over email, depending on how the project runs. So let's say there is a data fix document. So user will the BA will create a data fix. It's not a very lengthy document. It's something similar to a BRD or FSD, but it's just a one pager, right? So the BA will say, this is my ticket number, this was the problem faced, this was the analysis done. On analysis, it was ascertained that if you fix this amount, it will work for the user, or if we fix this particular value, then next step what they need to which is more critical than just thinking about in the data fixed term perspective is the thing that they need to be aware of, what is the impact of changing this particular value. So if you are making change in one particular field, it might be affecting one or more other fields, right? So if you it should not happen that you just do a data fix in one of the fields and you forget about the impact, because what will happen is it will just corrupt the entire record, right? You change something but you did not certain the impact of the change. So impact analysis becomes very important here, and it could be quite tricky as well. So BA will have to work out with the dev, with QC, and will have to work through the user stories to ascertain the impact. So if you are doing a data fix, do not miss out on this step. Do ascertain what the impact is on other fields, other values, on downstream systems, even, right? So let's say I have finalized my policy and I have said the premium is 1,000. And now this 1,000 premium has been informed to the insured, has been informed to the broker. It has gone already into the downstream system. It has already gone into the finance system, and the bank is waiting for 1,000 premium to come through. But now user told you that, oh, I was supposed to charge a premium of 10,000, not 1,000. So it should not happen that you just say, okay, in my system, 1,000 premium needs to be 10,000. It should not happen like that. You need to figure out what all it will impact. It will impact your documents, it will impact your downstream systems, financial systems, any system which is using this field. or using this data, everything will be impacted. So you have to figure out what the impact is and either inform relevant teams or
Shipra, I
either,
cannot hear you. Is it only with me?
uh, can anyone else confirm if they can hear me?
I'm able to hear you.
Yes, Shipra, I can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, thanks. Amit, would you like to log out and join back again? Hello? We can't hear you, Amit. Maybe something wrong with your earphones or.
Um, Amit, are you able to hear me?
Yes, yes, I'm able to hear you, but I cannot hear Shipra.
Amit, Shipra just mentioned that you can just leave the meeting and come rejoin.
Okay, okay, sorry. Okay.
So that it's all the issue. Okay.
Hopefully.
Yes, Shipra.
Yeah. Okay, so what I was talking about was data fix. So when you are doing a data fix, the impact analysis becomes very, very, very important. Do not miss out on the impact analysis and do not only think in terms of your system or the application you are supporting. The person is a support business analyst, so they need to support all the other peripheral devices or peripheral systems as well. So what that I mean is all the systems which are using this information needs to be informed that yes, the data will be changed in this system, and please update your system accordingly as well. So data fix request should be your last resort, right? If there is no other way of doing something, go for data fix request. Otherwise, try to find a workaround in the system itself. So if the policy has been finalized, you can check with the user if he is comfortable using the journal endorsement transaction or MTA transaction, midterm adjustment transaction. Yeah. So if the user is happy to follow certain steps to correct the data, that's the best way to go forward. Whatever can be done in the system itself is always preferred, because there are already means to provide the further information in the downstream systems, right? But if you are doing something for the via the script, the data fix script, then you need to ensure that other systems do not get impacted. It should not happen that your system is showing 10 and other system is showing 100. Yeah, so as a support BA, it will become your responsibility. And as a support BA, it is very important for you to understand the overall architecture, which all systems are connected to your system. Plus it is very important for you to understand who are your contact persons, right? Whom you need to contact for a particular item. So for example, if there is a finance system which is downstream, and I need to know who is my contact for that downstream system. Is it Parul, is it George, or is it Amit, or Ravi? So knowing the contexts, knowing the systems which could be, which will be impacted, knowing the other modules in the system, right? That's also very important. So as a support BA, you are not looking into one feature or one functionality. As a support BA, you will be looking into the entire system, right? If the system has 100 of functionalities, you should be aware of 100 of functionalities. Plus, you should be aware of which functionality is related to which other functionality and how it impacts it. Yeah, so end to end knowledge of the system is very important for a support BA. And that's the very reason which, because of which I think support BA role is the best BA role among all the roles which we have talked about. We talked about product development, we talked about implementation, right? So if you are in product development, implementation, integration, you will be focusing on one area only. So if you are integrating with application A, you will know how the integration with application A works, but you do not know how B works, how C works, right? If you are working in product development, you are working on one feature, you have very good idea of your feature, but you don't know the other 100 features available in the system, or how they have been developed, right? If you are in implementation, again, you might be working implementing one particular feature only, you might not be implementing the whole system, right? But as a support BA, if you are in a support role, it gives you the learning which no other role provides you. So usually support role is not given the due importance. People think that the BA is just working on tickets and it's an easy role, but I don't think so personally. I think the visibility that support BA gets, no other role will give you. Support BA will be talking to the client from day one, right? When I started my career in my support as a support BA role, I was talking to the VP of the organization, and my client was not a simple client or a small client. It was one of the top five US insurance companies, right? And I was directly dealing with the VP of that company. So the exposure I got in that moment was, it is uncomparable. And plus, I got to know the system end to end, right? uh, I have worked in product development, I have worked in implementation, but what I personally feel is I just get a flavor of it. I do not get all the flavors. But when I work in support role, it gives me end to end function, flavor of each and everything. So for me it's very important, right? But yeah, we were talking, going back, we were talking about data fixes. So yes, data fix requests, first preference will be to get it resolved via using some system functionality or workaround. If there is no other way, if that's a dead end, then go for data fix script. And one more thing, it's not for BA, but it's mainly for dev team, that they should make a track of what they have changed and as part of which ticket. So as a BA, but if you are preparing a data fix document, also mention that when I go to my history, I should be able to see a track under ticket reference number this. So that will help dev remember that they need to create an audit of the change as well, because otherwise few months down the line, someone will say my system is showing 100, your system is showing 10, what's the reason? And you will be clueless because the data is showing 10. You just can't say, right, that the data is showing 10, because uh, it will not help analyze the issue. So for proper analysis, you need to have an audit of the changes as well. That's very important. So which developer changed it, or system changed it, or which date it was changed, and as part of which ticket number. So if ticket number is mentioned in the history, this is the best thing that can happen. But some history or some audit trails do not allow for that, but still do ask your dev team to create a create an audit of what was changed and for what reasons. Any questions?
Shipra, I think Sarvayan had a question, so I think you should make him or her a speaker. There
Yeah,
was a
sure.
earlier thing
Yeah,
query.
yeah, I'll send the invite to speak to all the new people who have joined us. Please accept that, and please do join us in the call. Let's make the session more interactive. Yeah. Uh, so let me see the question in chat as well. Yes, Arvind, I've sent you the request to speak. I'm getting an earthquake. Are you also getting an earthquake?
No.
Looks like a small one.
You're on high rise, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
17th floor.
that's it. Yes. Yeah, I can see in the news now.
Okay,
Delhi NCR. Yep, you're right.
it's happening again. Is there any questions there? I'll take it as a no. Uh, okay. So next thing that can happen is BA gets a ticket, BA analyze the ticket, and it figures out that the user is asking for a new functionality altogether, which does not exist in the system. right? So I might be asking for a new feature or a complex feature to be present in the system, right? And users do that. They don't realize that we are talking about BAU and not implementation, and the feature requests could be could come in tickets as well. So in that case, what the support BA needs to do is analyze the requirement, get into the discussions with the requirement with the client, involve someone from the client side who has the authority. So as a user, I might be saying I want this, I want that, right? But i'm I'm not having the authority to drive the decisions of what features will be implemented in the system, right? I might be requesting for a feature which is worth thousands of bucks, but it's helping me only, but no one else, right? So you will not develop features for every nice to have feature, or you will not develop features for one person. So the decisions will needs to be taken at client level, right? Which is someone from the client should have the approving authority of what all features will go in. So in that case, first thing you need to do is you need to engage with your project manager and tell him that so and so feature request has come in. You can get some details at this level, just to understand what the request is all about. You might have already taken these details, but uh, yeah, once you ascertain that this is indeed a new feature and you have some clarity of it, you go to your project manager and tell him that so and so feature, and as per you, what's the complexity, right? Is it a simple request, or it's a complex request? Change request can also comprise of configuration changes. So every system has their master data. When I say master data, these are the values which show in the drop down. So any field in the system which has a drop down values, probably these drop down values are coming from either a master data or an enum set. Yeah, I won't go into the technical details, but system allows you to add new values in the drop down list. So if there is a such a request of adding values in the drop down list, then it is something that BA can request either from the dev team, and some BAs do have the required permissions to make the changes in the system itself. So BA can go into the system and add a value, and just a high level test it out and ask the user, I have added the value, are you good with it? If BAs are not given the authority to make changes in master data or enum set, they again log a request to the team, whatever is the agreed standard as per the process, right? They might have to create one page document saying that this value needs to be added, or they might have to just raise a CR request or something like that. So small changes configuration which which can be done via configuration itself are handled by support VAs and the support development team. But if there are complex requests which is not an few minutes job, in that case VA will go to project manager, give him get this item added to the list of other CRs. So there is a CR log usually maintained, which captures all the CRs that have been raised, right? Either in the system or in an Excel or whatever way, or your project manager might be storing that CR log. So you need to get this change request added into that CR log, along with the ticket number. This ticket is requesting for so and so functionality, and it's a simple functionality, complex functionality, what all areas could be possibly impacted, and a very high level analysis of what you think the requirement is. And then project manager will take it to the client and will then get it prioritized or get it added to a particular release. So support projects have their own releases. It could be monthly release, quarterly release, or yearly release, right? And they can also have something like, I'll do data fixes and defect fixes monthly, but my major release will go in on quarterly basis. Yeah. So support teams have their releases, and once you get a CR, once the project manager gets it approved and gets it added to a particular release, then the BA will start looking into this request. BA will liaise with client to get the understanding of the requirements. BA will solutionize it, create a functional specification document for it, might create a BRD for it, give this document to dev team, or write a user story. When I say document, user story is also a part of it. Yeah, write a user story, groom, refine the user story with the client, groom the story with the team, coordinate with dev and QC team to solve any of their queries. Get this item added in, and once the item is released in live environment, in production environment, then the BA will say to the user, on the ticket, saying that, as we have informed you previously, uh, this item has now been added into the system. Can you please check and confirm if we are good to close the ticket? Yeah. So one more point which is coming to mind, I don't want to miss it. That is, as a support BA, one thing that you need to do is to improve customer experience is, loop in customer with what is happening. So what that means is, you have if you are analyzing the ticket, let the customer know that analysis is in progress, right? And by so and so time, ETA, you will be able to revert with what your findings are. If you know it's a bug, right? Let the client know this is we have identified it as a bug, and the bug will be fixed in so and so release. If it's a CR, inform that particular user that this has been identified as a new feature request, and we are liaising with our managers to get this added into the priority list for so and so release. And if you want to discuss the priority, if you want to get this item scheduled on topmost priority, then you can reach out to so and so person within your organization, and that person is the one who is taking the authority, or who is deciding what items will go in, right? So please reach out to so and so person, otherwise that person will decide on their own what the priority is. So in keep the user engaged, keep inform the user at every with every new information. That will drastically improve the user experience. Support BAs are usually one of the matrices on which the support BAs are identified as the user ratings. So every organization goes to their client and asks them to rate on their services, and the user might give you one, might give you five. Yeah, so rating is one, if the rating is between one and five. So uh the and it won't be only for the support B, it will be the whole team together. Yeah, but if you can get a very good as a support BA, you are the face of the vendor to the client, right? You are the face of your organization. Dev is not reaching out to the client. Testing is not reaching out to the client, BAs are reaching to the client, right? So the better user experience you give to the client, the better ratings they will give you. They will give your entire team. So if you get good ratings, you can take the credit for it as well. Feel free to say to your manager, we got 5 rating for this one, and I think I have contributed much into this rating, and they will your project managers are sensible enough to acknowledge that. Yeah. So if, say, let's say, client says domain knowledge of the team is 5 out of 5, then it's all attributed to the BAs, right? Not to the dev or QC. So you can take that credit for yourself as well. So yeah, because you're the face of the customer, it's very important for face to the customer, it's very important to give a good experience to the users. And you can give good experience to the users if you keep them informed. So one of the key points in stakeholder management is clear communication, right? And frequent communication. So I have raised a ticket, and I don't get any response. I just get auto generated emails. I don't get any response from anyone for 10 days. I'll be quite frustrated, right? But if I get frequent responses, yes, ma'am, we are looking into it. Yes, ma'am, we have contacted our accounting team. Yes, ma'am, we have initiated the refund to your bank account. You will get it within 7 days. Ma'am, your refund has been processed. Can you please confirm to close the ticket? Right? It drastically enhances my experience. So do keep the customer engaged. And and yeah, we have already talked about a customer change request, how to deal with them. Any questions?
Shipra, if there is a CR, so will it be treated as a support CR, BAU CR, or it will go to the product?
Amit, it will depend on what the setup is, right? So if there is a change request, first thing you need to understand whether product will be doing it or it is something that needs to be done in the client implementation, right? So the client might be requesting for a certain functionality, but the product owner might not think of it as a worthy item for the product, right? Product owner might say that no other clients in the market will be using the function like this, so why will I create it in the product, right? So not every requirement will go into the product. Some requirements are developed specifically for the client. Of course, as an implementation BA, one needs to ensure that they are not, doing bespoke developments, which is messing up the future releases. But yes, that's something to be discussed as part of implementation BAs. But not everything is product worthy. Now, if it is determined to be product worthy, of course, it will be scheduled in the product, and the product will give you an ETA or the release in which it will be delivered. And the same thing you will be you will communicate to your client that it will be coming in so and so product release. Sometimes what happen is after product does their enhancement, it will needs to be configured in the implementation as well. So once you inform the client, you have to cater for the implementation time frame as well. Uh, on other hand, sometimes product says, I do not want to include this feature in my product. Yeah, so product owner says this is something which we are not catering to. So in that case, if your client has agreed to pay for it, and if your client has said, yes, I do need this, I cannot live without it, then it gets added into the implementation branch. Now, again, the question comes, do you have an implementation BA team, or do you have an separate implementation team who is catering to new requests? If you do, you usually get this added to the implementation team, because implement with implementation BAs, because you do not want to end up in a situation where you are making changes in live and implementation BAs are doing something in their in thinking of future, and the requirements are contradicting each other, right? So if implementation BAs are present in the system, then the item will get added to the implementation request. Sometimes the projects are so much stable that there is one CR in 6 months or 1 year, right? In those cases, there will be no use of having an implementation team, just waiting for new CRs to come. So in that case, there is no implementation team. Then the owners will come on BA or support BA itself to create a BRD, FSD, and pass it on to dev team. So the entire development will be done in support. Does that answer your query?
Yes, but just following that, I have one more question. Sorry.
Hmm. No.
I just wanted to know the process. Basically, what I'm asking is, suppose for my product, my one customer comes up with a defect, and I figure out that this is not a defect, it should be a CR. Okay.
Mhm.
Now I communicated this to my product team. I communicated this to my client. But now, what should be the approach? Should I go? I mean, should the team should go and fix it in the or implement it in the product, and then it will come into the implementation for that particular client, or it will be first implemented in the client and then it will be go into the product and tested,
Uh, uh, the development will be done in product first, and then it will be delivered to implementation.
and then
Because
same will be communicated to the customer as well, right? That particular customer who raised the defect and which turned into the CR, correct?
yes, so customer will not raise a defect. Customer will raise a ticket, right? Support
Yeah.
ticket.
Yeah.
So
Correct.
after your analysis, BA will determine whether it is a defect or whether it is a CR, right? Then it will be determined with along with technical team whether this is a product bug or whether this is an implementation bug, or whether you will try to figure out whether this is a product CR or it's an implementation CR. So first you need to identify whether it is product or implementation, be it bug or CR. With me so far?
Yes.
Now you have determined it's a product thing, then
Hmm.
you will ask product team to fix it in their environment first, and with the next release you will get the fix. Yeah, or you will get the functionality. If it is an implementation, then you will do it in implementation and product will not take whatever changes you have done.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or
Yes.
sometimes it also happens is uh, you have done something in implementation, right? But the product thinks it's product worthy. So they might ask you to, give your code set or your development to product as well. So the back thing also happens that something is developed in implementation first and then moved into product, but uh, it's it's not a recommended approach. It's not usual. The usual
Right.
process is fixing it or developing the functionality in product so that it is available to all other clients as well, and then the next release in implementation will have it.
Okay. Understood. Thanks.
Yeah, thanks, Amit, for raising these questions. It's really important. Yeah, it helps in keeping the conversation going on.
Chipra,
Yeah.
one small question, a very hypothetical situation that just came to my mind.
Mm-hmm.
What will actually take precedence, for example, in a situation where the product has one conflicting requirement and the implementation team has an opposite of that, a conflicting requirement for
Uh,
one.
can you give an example? Because usually business works in a same way, right? So the business or the domain, right? It is same for all clients. The if you are saying the solutioning is contradictory, that is possible, but the business requirements will not be contradictory. First thing we need to understand that. Yeah. But again, if you have already incorporated product solution into your implementation branch, then again the contradiction will not arise. Contradiction will only arise if you have done something in implementation and which was not supported by product.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
So so in that case, it's not something that there is a fixed answer to that. In that case, it will depend on case by case basis. So you will bring your client, you will bring your product into a discussion, and ultimately the decision needs to be made collectively, whether this is whether product will take precedence or whether client will take precedence. But again, as I said, business requirements will not be it's very rare that the business requirements are contradictory. Functional solutions which we have given to the clients can be contradictory because there can be n number of ways to do a particular thing, right? So some may say check boxes, some may say radio buttons, some may say drop down values. So at the end of it, we just need to say yes or no, right? So implementations can be different, functional solutions can be different. We need to come on a same page whether client wants product solution or whether the product wants implementation solution. So or it is possible that a product will say I'll go my way and you go your way, right? So but that's something that will be discussed on case by case basis, what the requirement is, how impacting it is, all areas it will impact, how many live records will be impacted, and so on and so forth, right? So so that's another. So there's no fixed answer to that.
Okay, Shipra.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks. Okay. We're running out of time, so let me quickly catch up with other items that a product that a support VA might look into. So another thing that comes in my list is reports. Because you are dealing in live environments, so client will be taking some reports out of your system for sure, right? So they will be extracting a certain set of data. They will be looking into widgets. You might already have a SSRS system to give the reports. You might already have a BI system, data lake system, or some other systems through which the reporting might be happening, because this is live environment. In support, sorry, in dev QC product development, implementation development. So that time reports does not matter much, but uh, live environment reporting will be there, which via widgets, via BI, via Tableau, or whatever system it is, right? When the reports get extracted, they will highlight certain gaps in the data. They will highlight certain cases which are not correct, right? So based on those reports, based on those gaps, you might get more tickets, or you might get a ticket asking you to analyze the report and say, tell them why a particular figure is like this, or why is it generating like this. So report analysis could be another aspect that a support BA may need to look into, and based on that analysis, there might be further data fix request, or there might be functionality change. Maybe the logic of the report itself is incorrect, so that all areas will loop in then. So report analysis is another key aspect of a support BA. uh, Along with reports, there will be batch processes as well. So, what I mean by batch processes is that overnight or early morning, or at a fixed time, something will be running. Some processes will be running in the system to do some things. Right? It could be anything. It could be just clearing of caches as well. It could be anything, right? It could be some data fix things as well. It could be bringing the data into the system as well, right? So there will be batch processes which will run at a fixed period of interval, and if that batch fails, then the BA might be contacted. It depends. Certain In certain projects, technical team will be contacted. On other projects, BA will be contacted, and BA will be asked to look into certain things. And believe me, if your client is having 24 by 7, they will not hesitate giving you a call at 1 in the night. I have taken calls 1 in the night saying that, the batch has stopped. What should we do now? And I was completely clueless, because being on BA side, being on technical side, you will not be able to help out. But still, you need to coordinate. You need to give call to other technical team members and ask them to get up and start the batch process. So those things could be there. You are lucky if you are not into 24 by 7 support, but the BAs who are in 24 by 7 support, life can become quite nightmarish sometimes. So it could be quite exhaustive, but as I said earlier in the call, um, the learning is exponential. Yeah, the learning that you get in support projects, you will not get it in any other type. So that's it. Yeah. So BA batch processes support and report analysis are two other things that the support BA will look into. Yeah. One last thing that comes to mind is implementations, right? So implementations, BAs have done some things, and they are moving that data into your live environment. They're moving those functionalities into your live environment. At that period in time, they will require your support. So someone may say that, can you tell me how many policies will be how many records will be impacted, if I do this? Can you tell me how many records have this data? Because they need to assess impact on live records, right? So they might ask you for certain information, which you will provide to them, and also they might ask you to say that, a data fix script will run uh, once we go live, right? So after the release, some data might be corrected to support the new functionalities that have come in. So you might be asked to keep a watch on those data fix scripts. So as a support BA, basically you are owning all the live records. It's your work to ensure that all the live records work as they are expected to work, and there are no corruptions in the live environment. Yeah. So you might be asked to support the implementation releases which go into your live environment. Any questions?
Not related to this, Shipra, but I have a question. Just let me know before ending the session, so I'll ask at the end.
Sure, Amit. So yeah, let us know if you have any question with regards to support BA role.
Yes, Shipra, Nilesh here.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Nilesh here, Surveyor.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Acha, in the mid, actually, we were at that time a listener. So
Mm.
just raise a query with respect to key. You have given one example about that key manual data entry done by the user at the upstream means was incorrect. And
Mm.
now, if we want to change it out over there, we need to check the impact and all such things the BA need to look upon. But there is one query: if the things whatever we are receiving at the downstream is by incorrect, whatever is by provided by the upstream only. So to be very on the safer side, we only need to just or the product support team only needs to put an email to the upstream that key for this record the correct value is so and so as this is not expected. So
Yeah.
because getting into the impact level analysis and also things, it would widen the scope unnecessarily. I think that is my suggestion.
No, see, when we say impact analysis, right, it's not only upstream impact analysis, it is also downstream impact analysis, right? So let's say you have a financial system. The financial system will be getting the financial data from some other system, so that system is your upstream system. But you might be sending this information to the banking system, right? So the banking system will be your downstream system. Now, usually the the tickets that come are they will come in upstream system only, because upstream system is the one which the user is looking at, right? So the user is looking at some system and they'll identify the error there, or they'll identify it via a report which I mentioned. So while doing the report analysis, it was figured out that some data was incorrect in upstream system. So if yours is a downstream system, usually you will not get the ticket in your downstream system. Usually it will be done in a upstream system, and then upstream system BAs will contact you and say that we are making this change. But again, it will depend on whether upstream system can correct the data via some workflow in the system. They can only send you a record. Uh, so either they do a data fix and send you a report, or they say that we are making this change, and you also make a change in your system. So it depends on what the current processes are, what the negotiations have been done. On case by case basis the decision is taken. So downstream systems have every right to say that upstream system should send us the corrected data, but the downstream system should have a mechanism to handle the revisions. So if you are not, if yours is a financial system and you are creating a record, right, you will be creating your credit debit entries, and the other system is sending you one record, then there should be a mechanism in your system to create a contra record first and then accept the revision, right? So if your system does not support that, then there is no other way than to make a fix in your system. And then you will have to inform the banking system also, which is your downstream system. So it's a collaborative exercise, among all interacting systems, on what's the best way to handle a particular fix. And that's why that's the very reason I said data fixes should be your least priority, least recommendation. Yeah, do not do data fixes blindly. Do data fixes only when there is no other options. Does that answer? Sarvena? Can't hear you, Nilesh. Yeah, I'm not sure. I can't hear him. But yes, I think I have answered him. So any other questions?
Yeah. Hi, Shipra.
Yeah. Hi.
Yeah. I just want to know the what will be the initial days of a BA as a we work as a BA.
Initial
So
days of being in a support project,
yeah,
or
it's a implementation project. Uh, it's a financial system. They have a legacy system. They move to the new system. So the system go live and they want to implement to the other groups also. So in that case,
Yeah, so we have already talked about role of a BA in a data migration project, right? So check out Twitter if the recording of the session is available. Otherwise, you can drop me a note on our Telegram channel, the BA Club, and I'll try to find the
okay.
recording. For you. Yeah. So we have already
This,
talked about data migration project setup and what the BA role is. Coming to your query on what's the how the BA should establish themselves in any project. I won't talk about data
yeah,
migration or product implementation, right? So in any project, support or any project, if a BA has joined the system, the first some of the initial things that they need to do is first understand the domain, understand the system, right? If they already have domain knowledge, well and good. If they have moved into the domain, into a new domain, they have to understand the domain. Second thing is understand the system which they are working on, right? So if it's a product, what the product is, what functions are available in it. If they are in support, what the end-to-end workflows available in the system, what all fields are available in the system, how the different systems interact with this system. So understanding the system and all the interacting systems is another key aspect. Third key aspect that the BA needs to look into or understand is the stakeholders whom he need to contact. If he has a technical query, who is the single point of contact for him? If they have a testing query, who is the contact point? If they need to get approval from a requirement, who is the approving authority? If they have to get the requirements, who are the people who needs to be involved in closing off those requirements? Who are the project managers? Who are the vendors? Who are the contact person of other integration systems, right? So understanding the contexts are very important. It will help them a lot if they can create a matrix of who is who.
yeah, okay,
So
okay,
that really helps. But yeah, those are the initial starting points. And another point is available documentation. So the BA needs to understand where the documentation is available, right? If there are user stories, what is the path for it? If there are any business rule catalogs, data dictionaries, they need not cram it, but they need to understand the placement. So if in case they need to find out a particular information, what's the document they need to look into or how to find that information, right? So because the project is most probably an ongoing project which you have joined. If you are starting
yeah,
from
right,
again, you will need to know what all documents client has provided till date and where the relevant information is. So where to dig the information from, that's another important point that the BA needs to know. Yeah, so BA will not know all the data fields, all the 600, 900 data fields, right? But they need to know where is the data dictionary. So in case they have any query, where to reach out to or where to check.
yeah, okay,
Yeah, and if you are in a support BA role, it's very important that you keep all these documents up to date. You never know when when the client will ask you. So even if
okay,
the implementation team is creating data dictionaries, right? Still,
mm-hmm.
once you get a release, ask the team to give a final version of the data dictionary to you, so that in case client says, I want a data dictionary, it's just a minute of sending the document to the client. It should not happen that you get a request from the client and then you are chasing implementation BA to complete the data dictionary, right? Because changes have gone live, so you should have a live version of the final document as well,
Yeah,
not the in progress one. The in progress one can be quite messy, right? They might be adding fields, removing fields, but you once something is in live, you need to have a data dictionary of all the live all the fields that have been introduced in that release. You need to have business rule catalog. You need to have a permission set, which user roles have which all permissions, right? So all these
yeah,
documents you should have them as a handy as a support BA, and same documents you can share to any other BA who joins the team so that they can also refer to it.
yeah, okay.
Yeah, George, please note this point.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. So George is in a support BA role. He took our last session on the same topic last year. So
Sure, these
So
videos are available in YouTube, right?
I try to I try to
Okay.
add them to YouTube channel, as much as I can. But yes,
Yeah.
only
Okay.
the recent ones are available, not the previous ones. We lost 2 years of sessions because we were not recording the sessions. There is definitely an argument because when we were not recording the sessions, we were having an audience count of 60, 70, 100 people. But the moment we started recording the sessions, the count, went
Oh,
from
you,
60 to 10, or, even 5. So,
yeah.
uh, so yeah, let's see what route we will take next year. But yes,
Yeah.
yeah, some recordings are available, so
Yeah. Okay.
not all. Yeah. So I think yeah, we are done with the topic for today. Amit, you mentioned you have one more question.
Yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
this one is actually related to the data fix only. So there is a situation. Suppose I'll give you an example. Uh, like in the premium product only. Suppose my team have tested, say the premium amount till the 6 digits. Okay, and my project is running from last 10 years. We have never ever received a particular defect, and now we have received a defect, suppose with a 7 digit premium. Now it is failing, the calculation is not correct. They have checked with the actuarial sheets and everything. Their sheet is saying something else, and my product is saying something else. But now, when we dig into the more, and when we check the support environment and the database, we check that there are one or two particular policies with this particular scenario. Now, my approach will be, I'll go to the customer and say that it will be a data fix rather than giving you the permanent fix, because the frequency of these policies are less, and also it will involve, or it will increase the it will involve more regression testing, and you will get the final build little bit late. So is it a correct approach, or and how should we proceed? How should we say that we are not going to give a permanent fix, and it will be a data fix for that particular premium, that particular policy?
Yes, I think that's a right approach. So we also as a BA, be in any project, we should also check what's the cost versus benefit. Yeah, it should not happen that you are you have invested a lot for a certain feature or a certain functionality which one or two users will be using it, right? I think I mentioned it at the beginning of the session as well, when we were talking about the new CRs that come in, right? So if the cost is not justifying the benefit, feel free to reach out to the client and say that it will be very costly for you to implement this fix, or do this defect fix. And as per the evidence you have as a support BA, there are only two records, or there are only few records with such and such data, so the frequency is very less and the cost is high. So it just does not justify cost versus benefit, because and if you take this argument to the client, 99.9% of the cases client will agree to the data fix, because they will get the data fix much faster, and second thing is they need not spend lot of money on something which they are not going to use, right? So at the end of it, client has to pay, and why will anyone pay for something they are not going to use much? Yeah. So there will always be cases, be it in product, there will in implementation, there will always be cases which will be treated as rare business scenarios. That's what we call them, rare business scenarios. And you do not create solutions for rare business scenarios. You create solutions for your normal, or most more probable scenarios. Rare scenarios are not catered in the product. But yes, when you are working on a requirement, do think from all aspects, in the especially in case that user will make a mistake. So assume that users will be messing around with the system, and make your system robust enough to cater to majority of the scenarios. It should not happen that the one of the common scenarios are not catered for, because you focused on the happy path, right? So exceptional flows, do consider what all the alternate flows are. But do not ask your client for something which they are not going to use. So uh, client will be happy to agree with a solution which will justify the cost. Does that answer, Amit?
Yes, yes. Thank you. I just need the confirmation whether this the approach is correct or not, because at the end of the day, it's the customer who will give us the go ahead whether we should go for the only the data fix or the permanent fix. But yeah,
Mhm.
it gives me the confidence that what I'm doing is right. Thank you.
Right. So if you want to get the confirmation on the client in the same call itself, go with the estimates. Tell them
Mm.
these are options. So support BA, they should note this point as well. Give options to the client. Tell them option one. We do the data fix. We will fix the defect in the system. We'll bring it to implementation by this date. So let's say you say you will get this fix in December, and this is the cost associated, so you need to pay $1,000 for it. Second option, we do a data fix in this record, you will get the data fix tomorrow, and the cost is $5, and definitely client will opt for option two. Yeah. So if you give them the estimates and the timelines, it helps them choose the option, and it will also help you because they'll go with the option that you are proposing. Yeah. So
Yes.
don't make call on their behalf. Give them the options and let them choose the option that you want.
Yes, correct. Because at the end of the day, I think my project manager will definitely go for the $1,000. But customer, from the customer perspective, $5 is more convenient for them, and it will be a quick fix, right?
Yeah, so that's a very valid point, Amit, and that's the dilemma BAs face, many times. So whenever I face this dilemma, I go to my project manager and tell him that you might secure $1,000 for this change, but you will be losing the trust of the client because client will soon realize that this was not worth $1,000, right? Now, uh, what do you want? You want to be penny wise pound foolish, or you want to keep good reputation with a good repo with the client, right? So I highly recommend that we do not propose this option to the client, and will so first thing is, do not even give your project manager a chance to say he is losing $1,000. Don't as a BA, do not tell him, yeah, that there is an option which is worth $1,000. So that's the first thing to do. Second
Right.
thing you do is, if the project manager is somehow involved and he knows, then I went to my manager once, and I told her that the client is requesting for a new field, but the comments field which is already available in our system will solve the purpose for the client. Yeah. So because I want to keep the repo with the client, I want to keep my client's trust, I want to go with an option of already available fields. Yeah. The other field, if you give to the client, you might earn few penny bucks, but you will lose the trust, you will lose the confidence, and we should establish ourselves as the consultants to the client and not as a order takers, or we are doing blindly what the client is asking for. So we should provide them solutions. We should help them transform, right? We should not just become servants, saying that you are saying this, we are doing this. You are saying that, we will do that. So pay us again. Yeah. So if we shift from that penny wise pound foolish mentality, and if we become client consultants for our clients, if we become solution providers for our clients, if we become problem solvers for our clients, right? uh, they they will definitely support you going forward, and they will give you more projects. They will ask you for better or complex enhancements in the system as well. And one more thing which is very important is, the industry runs on word of mouth. Yeah. So we are working in small industries. So insurance, everyone knows everyone. Banking, everyone knows everyone, right? So people have networks, people know each other. So and there are systems which have already saturated the market. So if I talk about insurance, Guidewire and Duck Creek have already saturated the US market, right? So it's very difficult for any new player to go in. But if you have few clients who talk about your product in each and every forum they attend, you know, you will find a space to enter the market. So uh, client trust and what client thinks about you is very important. So that's why a BA's focus should be on quality. A BA's focus should be on maintaining a good repo with the client. A BA's focused is should be earning trust of the client. Uh, make client rely on you. Yeah, and that's how you proceed. And don't talk about $1,000 option with a project manager. That's the best way going forward.
Yes. Thanks, Shipra. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, so sorry for extending the session by 20 minutes, but I think whatever we discussed was quite an important discussion. So yeah, uh, thanks for being with me throughout. If you have any doubts, any questions, feel free to drop me a note on the BA Club Telegram group. If you're not part of it, please do join it. If you're already part of it, please become more interactive there. Keep asking queries, keep answering. I'll try to answer as much as I can. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah,
Sure.
I hope you
Thank.
find the session useful.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, Shipra. Yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, and thanks all. Thanks for joining us today.
Yep. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Good night.